Out here to Nerd TV once again for another race of the Full Throttle Sim Racing Series, Mach1 Performance Cup Series here at Sonoma Raceway. They tackled this nice 2-mile road course just like they did this past Wednesday in the Sim Racing Points Truck Series. As always, I am Jeremy Stanley, aka J Stan, and to my right, Mr. Ballistic, aka Dustin Loxton. How are we doing this Monday night?
Ready to watch some left and right hand turns. And if this race is anything like the trucks put on last Wednesday, this thing is going to be a good show for sure. So not super big on road racing. I like watching it, but I suck at it. But again, I always enjoy watching some road racing, especially with these full throttle sim racing drivers. These guys know how to put on a show.
You know, I'm telling you, if you just hop into some of these open session races with me, you know, the open wheel stuff they'll get you learned on these tracks. Even at Sonoma, this is one of the trickier ones, and you love the C class, so I know you know how to drive those things. So just take them over here for a couple laps. I'm sure you'll get it.
Yeah, I know you've been trying to get me in there as much as I've been trying to get you with nerd raps. So
it's true. Maybe coming soon. Who knows? It's been coming soon for a while. We'll make a deal after this race. We'll get one settled in, and we'll get you some laps turned at Sonoma.
iRacing soon, right?
Yeah, iRacing soon. That's right. Yeah. So, for anyone watching on the North American continent, it is a strawberry supermoon out there. That just means it's going to be the best racing possible. Essentially, it's a full moon at its closest apogee to the Earth. For all you nerds out there for space. So the moon is super bright, and it's the biggest we'll ever see in the sky. So we know with those full moons, things can go crazy. And last Monday, we saw some craziness happen at Gateway. And now we're at Sonoma. So will there be some revenge? Who knows? We saw some craziness happen. Looks like some of the parties not here. Some others are. But nonetheless, pretty decent field for Sonoma, Dustin.
Yeah. It's it's road racing is its own beast in itself. You have drivers that enjoy it, drivers that don't, and this league does offer a couple provisionals, so it doesn't surprise me that some of the drivers may not be here tonight, maybe utilizing some of those provisionals because road racing's typically not high up on their priority list. So, but nonetheless, even with that, we're still fielding a 17-car field right now, being Sonoma, so we still got a good field. Should still be a good show tonight.
Yeah, I'm loving this. Road courses are one of my favorites, you know that, and seeing 17 cars here at Sonoma. It's one of those tracks where if you're in a league race, let's say you're not even broadcasted, right? You don't know the turnout. You know Daytona is going to be big. You know some of the cookie cutters going to be big. When you come to Sonoma, you don't know, right? And so seeing 17 of these guys come out here and try to tackle this 2-mile road course, I'm loving it. I know you're loving it, and it should be an awesome show for everyone tonight.
Absolutely, and even better tonight is we've got some more drivers participating in the in-rig shots as well. So we kind of toyed with that on Wednesday. We had a couple drivers in there. Nicholas Casey was one of them, and unfortunately mechanical issues took him out of he was setting up to have the race win at that point in time, some 26 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. He was one of them. Richie Coy was one of them. Kenneth Scholes was another one. We got some other drivers on it tonight, which is kind of neat. Richie Coy being one of them, but we have last Wednesday's winner, Tony Solari, is another in-rig camera as well. You see him in the top right there, and Josh Mayu has also joined the in-rig shots, giving us a view of his 02 runts. Sorry. I look at Nerd Candy, but his runts car. So if you guys didn't get a chance to catch last Wednesday's race, it was a nail biter down to the end between those two gentlemen up on the top section there of your mosaic feed, Mr. Richie Coy and Tony Solari. Last lap, last hairpin corner pass for the win, crediting that to Mr. Tony Solari. So he's looking to see if he can't sweep it tonight, Jeremy.
Yeah, I know the Nerd Candies and the Runts are all made by the same company, so we'll let that one slide.
Can't go wrong with Wonka.
Cool. There you go. Yeah. So Richie Coy and Tony Solari, you said it. They are battling neck and neck after, Nicholas Casey slapped the wall, I think with 5 to go, and then the next lap his engine expired, probably like you said, mechanical failure due to that wall slap. But it brought great attention to those two guys on the top of that mosaic, Richie Coy and Tony Solari. So it's no wonder why we have them up there tonight. Tony Solari is strong on these road courses. He should be performing for everyone out there. Put on a good show, and we got the behind view, so we can see how well he's working that wheel. See how much smoother he is compared to some others out there.
And even better, Jeremy, not only do we have the behind view, but Mr. Tony Solari, after his performance last Wednesday, is actually our primary in-rig camera driver for tonight. So we actually will get a close-up of him in action as you see him on screen right now. Working that VR, you see him turning that head there so he can try to line those corners up. So again, with his performance, we're going to see him in action tonight as the primary.
Yeah, this is qualifying, but take a look at this VR headset and with an LED tachometer on the wheel. Like, he can't even see it, but it's still there. He's producing ultimate realism right now.
Fun fact, too, and I myself didn't know this, Jeremy, but Mr. Tony Solari told me this pre-race. That is a custom-built wheel, by the way. That is custom-built wheel out of wood. He has inlaid everything in there to include the lights and the display. So that is an all custom-built wheel that you guys are seeing on screen. And that was your last Wednesday's Sim Racing Points Truck Series event winner here at Sonoma.
That's what I'm going to be doing the next 2 months, because that's a fantastic idea to custom layout whatever you want, wherever you want. So that's cool. I did not know that as well. So that's definitely a fun fact. Dustin, these guys are qualifying, so I need to take this time to start thanking some people. Allow us to do this every Monday and Wednesday for you guys on Nerd TV for the Full Throttle Sim Racing League, and first and foremost, the league themselves. Head yourself over to FTSR.net. Get registered. This is the end of only week 3 of scheduled 13, or actually 14. The Cup Series has the off week with the 4th of July, so 14 weeks, and we're only on week 3. So still got plenty of time to sign up. Get yourself registered. 4 different series spread across the entire week. So that's, once again, FTSR.net. Shout out to tonight's sponsor for the Cup Series, Mach1 Performance, started by the late Johnny Coy Jr. This fabrication shop has produced champions and winners in all sorts of racing divisions, from road circuits like the SCCA and NASA to dirt and pavement oval racing. So head over to Mach1 Performance and see what they can't do for your race car. Sim Racing Points, the official Truck Series sponsor every Wednesday night and sponsor of the Nerditudes. Essentially, it's a league points management system that produces tons of information to keep your league fully organized, ready to go. Easy to display stuff, too. Full-page screen layouts. You got customized widgets. So if you're a webmaster out there, they got you covered at a great price point as well. So head over to simracingpoints.com. Get your league registered today, and go to the FTSR.net. They have it there. They use it every week, and it displays a crap ton of information. So if you want to get a test run on it, that's how you're going to look at it. So once again, simracingpoints.com. Shout out to Martin Sports, home of the sim gloves. Always say that each and every week because it is true. Nobody makes a better sim racing glove than the guys over at martinsports906.com. But they also make customized t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and they have the fastest turnaround in the business. So please check out Martin Sports 906. Use that promo code during that green text, Super Nerd, for a whopping 25% off anything that you purchase. Shout out to iRacing iFlag, official flag partner for the Nerditudes. I say it every week, but it's a really cool product. I always like to mention it. It's a 3D printed. It's not just some super mass-produced thing. It's a 4x6. It sits on your desk. It has 64 LED lights that produces all the notifications iRacing likes to throw at you guys, whether it be, flags that the flagman throws, or auto notifications like someone's high or low. It displays arrows. It displays whatever it needs to keep you alert on the racing surface. It does so because the LEDs are super bright. So once you see those colors, you know what's ahead of you. So you're going to buy that at iRacingIFlag.com. Once again, Super Nerd, this time is going to get you 15% off. The Butt Kicker, official audio enhancement partner for the Nerditudes. That Gamer 2 unit is the standard in sim racing immersion. It gives sim racers a haptic transducer that attaches to any center post of your gaming chair or sim racing seat. And it produces that much needed feel from the car that drivers really need to perform at their peak performance. See their entire product line at thebuttkicker.com. Nerd TV this time, rather, for 20% off. It's Moonlight Speed Concepts. Now it's known as Moonlight Speed. You're going to find them at moonlightspeed.com. Also follow them on Twitter and join their Discord. They're active all the time, consistently working on those setups to make them the best they possibly can be. They also produce Road to Pro setups and other setups that you're going to need across the board on the oval side to get the W's in the win column. Once again, it's moonlightspeed.com. And then housespeed.us. It's going to produce all those dirt wins you're looking for. Custom professional setups on any dirt oval side of racing. So if you're in a big block or a late model or the sprint cars, they got you covered. Consistently working on those setups as well. Also join their Discord. Them and Moonlight Speed work hand in hand. Great set of guys. I use their setups, and without them, I would not get any wins on the open setup side. So huge shout out to them. And lastly, Nerd Focus, the drink that keeps us nerds over here highly alert all the time. Especially when the time when you're down, when 2:30 hits you in the afternoon, that's what I turn to. And you're going to find that at nerdfocus.com. Use that promo code SUPERNERD. Once again, this time 10% off. Now, lastly, too, it's not really an ad per se, but periodically throughout the broadcast, you will see a QR code pop up on your left-hand side. You see it right there. That's going to be for the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Essentially, they have a challenge for streamers out there. You just challenge simply. It's not even much work at all. If you're a nerd, you do this all the time. 60 minutes a week. That's all you need. And then you can open your donations up to donate to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. And all the money, you just take your phone out, you scan the code right there on your screen, donate what you want. We don't see the money at all. It goes 100, 120%, whatever, all to the St. Jude's. So, and they're donation based. They're not government run, so they don't have funding. They rely on people like us and like you to get their funding, and they do some of the best of the work worldwide. So once again, just don't have to now. You'll see it periodically pop up, but any donation is much appreciated. All right, Dustin, we got about 2.5 minutes of qualifying. I think as these guys start to wind down, I know we just did some sponsor plugs. I do extra shout outs too, I think, as well, right? Yeah,
I do want to make mention too about St. Jude's, and you did that beautifully as far as letting, explaining what that was. For those of you that don't know exactly what St. Jude's does, they are one of the leading facilities as far as research on different types of illnesses, terminal illnesses, things like that, to try to find ways to combat these. They share that with the world. It's not just in the U.S. They are worldwide leaders in these in illness research for children. So they do a fantastic thing, and especially when you see some of the kids that are so strong and battling and going through these and the good spirits that they're in, it's $1 here or $1 there donated goes a long way. It's definitely a good thing to do, and it's one of the 3 charities that Nerditudes fully supports. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is one of them. The Mohawk Foundation is another one, and that's for cancer and ALS research. They do a lot of esports and triathlons as well. And the other one is Extra Life, which benefits the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So I do believe the one that we sponsor on that one is the University of Iowa Steed Family Hospitals in Iowa City. Personally, we've had a child of ours go there that has had to have a tumor removed, so that is one that Nerditudes backs and supports. And like I said, those are the three charities that all of us nerds really back and support, Jeremy.
Yeah, especially that last one too touches base there, on a personal note, and the work that they do, so you can obviously attest to them, right?
Absolutely. So it's always a good cause, and as you could tell, 2 out of the 3 charities involve children. So We're nerds at heart. We love gaming. Kids love gaming. It's a perfect combination being Extra Life in St. Jude. So,
Yeah, I couldn't agree any more than that. I'm glad you followed up with that with some more details for those who do not know what they are about. Now you do. Um, but with that being said, though, Dustin, qualifying is over as of right now, so your times are officially locked in. So we'd love to give everyone out there a glimpse of what the starting order is going to look like tonight. Starting with pole sitter, I think he's got the pole. Correct me if I'm wrong. Every single time, 3 for 3. Nicholas Moreau and that number 15 showing up for Moreau Motorsports, just tearing it up.
that is
He's gonna
correct.
Start P1. Awesome, good to know. And then second place, one of the NSIM rig drivers, actually the main camera for tonight, that number 11, Tony Solari, P2. Strong on these road courses. You saw it on the truck series. He's looking to sweep Sonoma here. Third place, you're going to find his teammate. Second row, Richie Coy in third. Lane Allen's going to start in fourth. Chuck Sweeting in fifth. James Wallace in sixth. Seventh place, Brody Hanna. Still continuing to truck out in this next-gen car. So let's see how he does here. Eighth place, Alex Murphy. Ninth, Martin Garreau. And 10th place, Ryan Hendrick.
Yeah, 11th place is going to be fielded by Brian Bliss. Gil Gawk will start in your 12th position. 13th is going to be Josh Johnson. 14th is another in-rig driver, Josh Mayu in that 02. 15th, Steve Loomis. 16th is going to be Matthew Vachon. And rounding out your field in 17th is going to be Chris Beck. Now, and, Jeremy, one thing we do got to remember, too, is... we did have that update as well that did bring a new damage model to this car in particular, as well as some other much needed improvements as well. And I've heard mixed reviews from some of the drivers as far as the handling and everything else on it. So
yeah, you literally just beat me to the punch on that. I was just about to say the same thing. The one thing to notate, which you might see a decent amount of it tonight, that damage model completely updated. So if you've played iRacing enough and you've driven some cars that have the new damage model, like the ARCA series, for example, where it's a stock car, the body panels fly around now. The hoods will fly off. The tires have cables that keep it connected to the car. They will disconnect. We saw it in practice. This is the first time I got to see a glimpse of it personally. Brian Bliss wrecked and his left rear tire came off the entire axle, folded in half underneath the car. So it is live and present. And yeah, as far as the driving aspect goes, I don't know if they've tested enough on the road course to give us personal feedback, but I do know on those oval sides, these things are... I was told by paraphrasing one of the drivers tonight, it feels like a race car. It feels planted to the ground. It's more drivable. It's more predictable. It doesn't get snappy loose on exit like we saw at Gateway last week. So it should produce a lot better action for you guys on the on the track as you watch it tonight. And if you do own these cars as well, you should be appreciative of the update. For better or for worse, some people don't like change. Some people are comfortable with what was before, but at the end of the day, we are not driving these cars in real life, so we truly don't know what they feel like. We can only assume based off of words. But green flag is out here. Sonoma Nicholas Moreau with a little bit of tire spin there, getting onto the gas in second gear going to third. That's going to allow Tony Solari to slip past him and take over the lead, entering turn number 2.
Yeah, now remember from the truck race though, Tony Solari, that first set of corners, that 1 and 2 corner and that uphill, that was one of Tony's strong suits. So that was by far one of the worst places that Nicholas Moreau could have had a little bit of tire spin, was right there on the start, because you know Tony was going to capitalize on it.
Yeah, Tony was definitely going to capitalize in this first part of the track. And he said he struggled right here in 5 and 6. We see Nicholas Moreau coming up to him a little bit here. He's going to dip to the inside, will not make that pass effort. Too early in the race to do that. It is 50 laps tonight. We're only on lap number 0.5, so definitely got a long race to go. Right here, Tony Solari, he won the race last past Wednesday through this section. He was not very consistent. His teammate Richie Coy was doing an excellent job being consistent, able to pull away from Tony right here. But if Tony can string together a good set of S's this entire race, I think he's got the better chance tonight. And right here is where he made that winning move, second to last corner of this track. I think it's turn number 12 heading into 13. Now we see Chuck Sweeting dip down there in the infield a little bit, letting some cars go by. I'm not sure what's happened just right there.
Yeah, he was in a battle going through those S's there, so I don't know if something happened when he was going through the S's, but there was 3 cars there, Lane Allen being one of them as well. They were duking it out going through those S's, which you know as well as I, Jeremy, that can be a dangerous place to duke it out because those S's upset the car to begin with.
Yeah, it will. It definitely will. With the update, these cars initially looking pretty stable, other than that tire spin that Nicholas Moreau had on start. I'm not really seeing a lot of movement in these cars, Dustin. They're looking pretty planted as they were describing it, throughout the chats this week.
Well,
the iRacing forums or in person. It's looking pretty good so far.
Let's go on board with our mosaic and let's actually see some of these drivers and see exactly how their cars are handling here. We're going to go a side by side. Again, you're going to see Richie Coy top left, Tony Solari top right, and Josh Mayu on the bottom left there. And Jeremy, I would have to agree. It seems like all 3 of those drivers, not a lot of wheel movement, not as much as what we've seen in the trucks on last Wednesday. I would have to say that those cars are definitely more solidly planted, and I'm glad to see that they are staying away from that final turn inside wall. We've seen that bite Lane Allen, and I've seen Lane Allen give a little bit more room going through that corner after last Wednesday's accident.
It's definitely one of those tricky corners for sure. You definitely want to stay away from those tires, and you really want to avoid the tire spin through there too. It's such a tight corner. These cars are second gear through there. It is super easy to spin the tires, so gotta be very cautious of that. And you're not wrong. Tony Solari's wheels looking
Tony
really
Solari
smooth. So is Josh Mayu,
just made contact, looped it, spun it around. There is no full course cautions. That is gonna be detrimental. That was your race leader that did that. We're gonna go back and take a look to see exactly what happened with the number 11. It was coming off of that corner there.
Yeah, that was broadcaster's curse, I guess. We were just talking about how smooth he was, and that happened. So it looks like, to me, on my end, he came off the curb, and the tire spin the tires essentially chirped. You come off to the curb exit, the car drops down, and it preloads the suspension. The tires spin for a second, caused that rear end to kick out. Heavy contact with the nose of that number 11 Menards Ford Mustang.
And that worries me.
Bad, Dustin.
That worries me, especially after what we had seen happen last Wednesday. It didn't seem like there was that much contact with the front nose of the 86 of Nicholas Casey, and it ended up popping the engine. And with this new damage model, definitely going to want to keep an eye on that number 11, because that seemed like that was pretty heavy impact. And you can see on the front nose, it is caved in pretty good right now, dead center. So there's that was a substantial hit, Jeremy.
I'm going to have to agree there. The only thing that's going to be a saving grace is these next-gen cars, if they're built to be exactly how they're in real life. There's a lot of gap now between that radiator grill up front on the nose and the actual radiator itself. It's no longer planted right up against it. So there is a little bit of a gap between those two components. So hopefully it's not pushed in there far enough to where it is going to affect it. But yeah, we'll have to keep a real close eye on the next couple laps, because as you said, that 86 with 4 laps to go blew up because of damage just 1 lap prior.
Yep, but that is going to, after all those events, that is going to relinquish the lead to the 15 of Nicholas Moreau. Has not seen victory lane since the season opener at Charlotte. Had a fast car last week and was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I ended up damaging the car. It was terminal. Had to take it back to the garage and park it for the night. So he's out for redemption, and right now he's looking pretty good trying to stretch that lead out, Jeremy.
Yeah, he had a great run going at Gateway and just had a couple issues getting back in the field, and put him back 6th place in points. He's tied with 3 other people, 4 total people, 11 points out from Richie Coy, that being Nicholas Moreau, Chuck Sweeting, Steve Loomis, and Ryan Hedrick. So points battle is pretty tight just from that standard alone. But yeah, he's definitely been put on a show for everyone. If he would have not got involved in that wreck, he would have been up there top 3, I think, easy to close out Gateway. So Nicholas Moreau seems to be pretty versatile now, the first time we're seeing him on these road courses.
Yeah, and it's again we had Lane Allen, what's a strong run, now up to P2, and look who is sitting in P3. Driver that finished podium last week is up in P3. That's at 67. James Wallace is up to P3 now after everything happened. He's currently being targeted and trying to being chased down by the 19 of Richie Coy after everything kind of cycled out, but he's still got a little bit of a gap as long as he hits his mark. So again, shuffle up to the top 5 with Richie Coy. Tony Solari is back up in the top 5 again, so he is working, but again, still keeping a close eye on that. As long as the temperatures stay down, he should be able to rock and roll the rest of the race.
Yeah, the 19 had an issue a lap prior. He ran a time of 10 seconds slower. I didn't actually catch that initially, but that wowed that number 67 of James Wallace, who has been coming on strong of late. Now inside your top 3, as you said, looking to try to maintain a podium spot, but the 19 is just running much better laps overall, and you see him closing in real quick here.
Yeah, now the 67 of James Wallace, that was one of your rookie contenders last season. Finished a close runner-up to his teammate, Ryan Hedrick. It was a close battle all the way down to the season finale, but those two put on a hell of a run for the Rookie of the Year honors for the 2022 A season here for the Cup Series, the Mach1 Performance Cup Series. But he's looking like he's picking up right where he left off. Like he had, the showing was a little bit difficult and a little sporadic at Charlotte, but the last couple weeks so far, last week and this week here, he's been putting on a good run. As right now you see him being challenged by the 19 of Richie Coy.
Coy takes him around. 67 says, hey, I know you're much faster. I'm going to just give it up to you there. 19, Richie Coy back in a familiar place inside podium contention right now and 3rd right now. And right behind him, 5th place, that number 11, trying to make his run back through the field. So far, it doesn't look like there's any engine damage, Dustin. And he's running some of the fastest laps of this race. Just 1/10, I think, right off your race leader, Nicholas Moreau, even with that damage.
Yeah, which tells you what kind of hot rod that number 11 of Tony Solari has underneath him right now. As long as he can keep, that corner there seems to be giving him a lot of fits. Those rumble strips there, he had a little bit, ass end kind of kicked out a little bit there, but the tire spin didn't attack him and bite him as much as what it did a few laps ago. But as long as he can maintain consistency, you're going to see him crack the top 3 again, Jeremy.
Yeah, there's no cautions, but he's still got 43, 44 laps right now to make it up there, and I'm sure he's going to get around at least 1 to 2 more people as he's creeping up on that 67. Would not surprise me if he got around his teammate Richie Coy. It all depends on how quick he can get up to Lane Allen there, currently in 2nd. But I just want to make a quick mention too. Chats are open as always, so if you're on YouTube or if you're watching on Twitch or Facebook Gaming, throw in the chat system. I'd love to chat with you. Mass joined and said, hi, bro. So we gave a shout out back to him. So participate with us in the broadcast. It's fun.
Absolutely. We always love bringing you guys into it. That's part of this. It's this is a broadcast, but we also like bringing that streaming aspect into it as well. You guys are as much a part of this as anybody else. So chat away. We'll sit here and shout you guys out, bring you into it. We love that interaction. The drivers love that interaction. Let us know who you think's gonna pull out the victory tonight. Let us know if you think Nicholas Moreau is gonna rebound after last week's debacle that happened. Let us know if you think Tony Solari is gonna be able to rebound back after that lap 3 situation in wall contact. Let us know who your favorite driver is. Shout it out. We'll shout you guys out all the way.
I don't want to bring any bad luck to that race later, but we saw Casey with a 25-second lead erased by one oopsie with 5 to go, hitting that inside wall. Coming off of turn number 5, where you saw Tony Solari do the same exact thing. So that corner for Full Throttle Sim Racing, anyways, is throwing a bone at these guys. Just don't hit the wall like Lane Allen did there on Wednesday. Come to the final kink before the start-finish line. Apparently there's a glitch in that wall, and it will throw your car across the map.
Oh my God, yeah, it will.
He's definitely rebounding from that nicely in 2nd place right now.
Yeah, holding on to second place really good too. So, like I said, he looks really consistent. He's got a hot rod underneath him. I mean, he's in good company too. He's got the 15 of Moreau he's trying to chase down. He's got the 19 of Coy behind him trying to chase him down. He's in good company. We're almost a fifth of the way through this race already, Jeremy, about ready to cross the line to start lap 10 of 50. So, I mean, these drivers are starting to tick it down.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking over the lap times because these cars got not a major overhaul, but they got a performance update for sure. So I'm kind of curious to see how that tire wear looks. And right now, that's not really showing off much tire wear. Tony Solari, lap number 2, ran a 16.4. Lap number 8, his last lap by 16.4. So as long as you're consistent, this tire wear is really not terrible. 6 laps, and he's running the same exact lap time at a track that's 13 corners long, 2 miles. So, I mean, if it's not wearing, use it.
Absolutely, and it seems like that update overhaul that iRacing did on these next-gen cars, which was badly needed. You see the 31 of Alex Murphy lock him up going into that hairpin right in front of the 47 of Ryan Hedrick. Both drivers keep going though, but I mean, it was definitely much needed with these cars here. A lot of people did not like these cars. I've yet to try these cars out since the update, but with what I've heard as far as the way that they drive and handle, that they drive more like a stock car you would expect a stock car to drive. So these drivers are definitely slinging it around here. I mean, they're pulling some quick laps. I mean, 1:16. Just a hair over. I mean, that's some blistering laps, Jeremy.
I think I have to take my pre-race comment back about not trying them. I think I did try them at Gateway for 10 laps. Probably like 3 days ago, something like that. And yeah, they push up more like a stock car would. They don't get snappy loose, at least from the setup I was using. I feel like the body was a little more side to side. So it had some actual feeling difference from basically inside the seat. So definitely felt something, but I haven't gave it a thorough test. But the feedback is positive, and right now the racing is looking positive.
Absolutely, as right now we're on board with the 19 of Richie Coy, he's giving it everything he has to chase down that 14 of Lane Allen. He's bringing him in slowly but surely. This is one of Richie Coy's stronger sections, is through turns 3 and 4, and that little S is right there up before turn 5. And Richie Coy's usually really solid through 5 too. So that section there, but it looked like Lane Allen kind of stretched it coming out of 5. So again, Lane Allen's got a hot rod tonight, Jeremy.
Yeah, it looks like he's one of those guys who enjoys the road courses. We see him up there mixing up with the in the oval side, a decent amount of the times. But here we are on a road course, and I think at Circuit of America too, he was doing the same thing. So shout out to Lane Allen for being strong on these road courses. Speaking of road courses, to perform well, you're going to need a pair of your Martin Sports gloves. You can get them at martinsports906.com. Love to give a shout out to that company because they produce some of the most awesome sim racing apparel and equipment possible as far as the apparel side goes. So once again, martinsports906.com. You super nerd for the biggest discount you're probably ever going to find on the internet, or close to it, at 25% off.
Absolutely. It's one hell of a discount and one hell of a product as well, all the way around, everything that they offer. Do want to give a shout out in the chats as well to Matthew Tremblay. That's one of the drivers that we unfortunately are not having the privilege of watching tonight. He had to work tonight, which is unfortunate because he loves road courses and was looking forward to having an epic duel with Nick. Talking about his Moreau Motorsports teammate Nicholas Moreau, who you see on screen right now, currently leading this race with over an 11-second lead over Lane Allen, who sits in second place right now. So again, shout out to Matthew Tremblay and Rumble Racing as well. They say VR black screen. So it looks like somebody may be having some issues with some VR situations. I don't have that problem, unfortunately. I'm low tech. I don't have VR yet, but I'm working towards it. But I know somebody in this booth that does, and I'm still waiting to see how that kind of works out in iRacing form.
I've used it. It's not my preference, but definitely gives you that immersion. It's if you get to that point, Dustin, whenever you turn that rock over and come out of your cave, and you put that thing on and you drive iRacing with it, it's weird. You lean over, you can look out the window of the car and see all the door detail. You can like basically look at the details of the car next to you. It's next level stuff. For the first time, I was like, wow, this feels like I'm actually sitting in this damn car. It's so cool. So, but with new technology comes with little issues, and if your cable disconnects or you're actually wearing this and you're moving it, right? So if something disconnects or something goes wrong, you get a black screen and you got to quickly throw that thing off your head to keep racing, especially at Sonoma.
Yeah, and as we were talking about that, we have a battle about to heat up here for this second place, as Tony Solari has caught up to Richie Coy, and they have both started reeling in the 14 of Lane Allen. So this battle for the second place is going to get heated up real fast here, Jeremy.
Yeah, you see the 19 one car length off that 14 of Lane Allen. Put on some decent pressure at this point, and we know Tony Solari's probably got the second fastest car on the track right now outside of your race leader, Nicholas Moreau, who's put out 11.5 second advantage over second place. So, yeah, this next lap or two is going to be some of the most interesting racing you're going to see here in a while, because Sonoma, the racing's awesome, right? But it does get spaced out just because it's a road course. It's natural tendencies for the road course. So, but this little three-car battle for second, third, and fourth is putting on a show right now.
Yeah, and I was just watching the battle for second between Allen and Coy, and I tell you what, man, it's Tony Solari getting through that hairpin and getting through that first set of uphill turns. I mean, he closes in so fast on that it's ridiculous. I'd have to say he's probably one of the best to get through those corners like that. It's where he makes up a lot of his time. But this battle here is heating up. Is Richie Coy he's giving it everything he has right now to try to get that car on the inside, and you might try to see it here if he can line it up coming up to this hairpin, Jeremy.
Yeah, making a good look at it right now. Wants to take that spot, and he's going to force pressure on Lane Allen, which he does show it. Goes wide in the turn number 12. It's going to allow Richie Coy in the 19 to get around his inside there and take over that spot. So new second place. And now it's the number 11 turn. His teammate, Tony Solari, going to try to take a stab at him and quick to get around the 14 so he can get back to his teammate, Richie Coy.
Yeah, as we're going on board right now with that number 11 of Tony Solari. As you see right now, his windshield is all full of nothing but Mountain Dew in 14 as he's trying to find a way around him before he doesn't want Richie Coy to get too far ahead. They want to try to stay together so they can try to track down Nicholas Moreau as Moreau is stretching out that lead ever so slightly. But you see this battle right here for third right now between Lane Allen and Tony Solari, Jeremy. This is a good battle going on.
Just look at the concentration here. He is moving, digging deep, getting a little off there on the S's where we saw that was his kryptonite in the Truck Series, and here he is in the Cup Series trying to make that a little better, which overall he's been doing better than the Truck Series. But entering turn number 12 here, he's going to get right back to that 14's rear end. Let's see if he can get a good launch off this corner. Looks like he will. It's going to almost match the speed of that 14, just not enough. Let's see if the 14 holds on this time as they go uphill into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, and they got traffic going up the hill here for 1 and 2.
Oh.
Traffic does. That is Josh Mayu sticks to the outside here and lets these three drivers duke it out there. That's one of your in-rig shots, camera drivers. So again, lets these guys duke it out, knowing that they're racing hard and doesn't want to cause any issues. So again, excellent shots we have from onboard here from Tony Solari as well as the rest of the rig drivers.
217 Steve Loomis go really high up there off of turn number 5, giving them the most space possible. Number 11, Tony Solari, trying to really stretch out this corner. Turn number 6 does not get the exit that he was hoping for. He's going to lose a couple car lengths to that 14 once again. The 19 was held up by Josh Mayu up that hill into turn number 2, so it brought him back to the 14. But he's now already half a track later. I'm separated about 5 car lengths or so over that 14. Tony Solari is looking for a good turn 11 here. Pretty all right. Not going to have enough space to dive bomb unless he's going to try it. Gets in there deep, and the 14 overshoots once again, and that will allow the number 11 Tony Solari to get below him to his inside, and it looks like he's going to clear him through the kink onto the finish line. So third place, Tony Solari.
Which is an excellent rebound after what happened earlier in the race on lap 3 with Tony Solari. So again, that hairpin was one of Tony's strongest suits in the truck race. That's where he made that winning pass there. I mean, it helped it was on his teammate, so Richie Coy didn't want to take both of them out there, so didn't come down and pinch them or anything else too much. But even Richie said that was one of Tony's strongest suits. And believe it or not, out of Fury Motorsports, Tony Solari is the road guy. Both Richie and Brody said that he's the road guy. I mean, he's the one that sets up the team setups and everything else. So he's definitely one of the strong suits out here.
Yeah. They talked about it. Richie Coy was like, yeah, Tony Solari, he's our road course king. He backs us up on these. He set us up, and it definitely put on a really strong performance on that whole entire team. So and you're seeing it once again here. They're probably heavily relying on Tony Solari, which I'm sure we'll ask him during the post-race. At least one of them I would expect is going to make the podium. But second and third place right now, Tony Solari. Oh, heavy tire spin from that number 11, cooking those rights or the rear tires, and going to lose a car length or two on that 19. But you know him. As soon as he gets these turn 1 and 2, he's probably going to be right there again.
Yeah, now even with all this racing though, Nicholas Moreau, your race leader who you see on screen right now, hasn't really driven away from these guys at all. He's still sitting right at 11.9, 12-second gap, which is where he's kind of been hovering around this whole time, even with those three drivers duking it out, trying to figure out who was going to settle where. So that we're going to, time will tell. I mean, we have 32 laps left in this race. That's a lot of time. We still have a pit stop that we have to worry about as well to get fresh tires. And you know that Tony Solari is going to get some of that damage fixed as well on that, I would imagine. So I was expecting that Moreau was going to kind of gap that out, especially with those guys racing side by side as hard as what they were. But, he still has a comfortable lead, though, Jeremy.
On the oval side, that Moreau Racing's got excellent long run speed. But I've been kind of going through these lap times, Dustin, and Tony Solari, once he gets an open track where there's no one in front of him, his last lap was a 15.9 versus Moreau's 16.1. So even though he spun out, hit the wall, is consistently spinning those rear tires, he's still 2/10 faster when he gets a fresh track in front. So that tells you that number 11's praying or hoping that something goes weird with Nicholas, so he can kind of get back up there and give himself a chance to redeem and get back to that lead.
Absolutely. It's exactly what he's working on. He's putting himself in a good position. Right now, sitting in third, him and his Fury Motorsports teammate Richie Coy are trying to track down that race leader, Nicholas Moreau. Lane Allen still running strong in that fourth position. And James Wallace still in the top 5. Again, strong running here at the road course for that number 67. Running 6 is Chuck Sweeting's back there. He's had a good, clean race. Good rebound early in the race. If you remember, Jeremy, he going through those S's, he went down the inside, gave up a lot of positions. He's made a lot of those positions up, back up to the 6th place, only down 1 position from his starting position. The third and final Fury Motorsport driver, Brody Hanna, Mr. I don't like these cars, but runs very well in these cars, running 7th. Alex Murphy in that 31, running 8th. Ryan Hedrick, the teammate of the 67, James Wallace, is running 9th, and rounding out your top 10 is the lone Toyota, being that of Brian Bliss, and it looked like out of turn 5, he might have had a little bit of an issue coming out of there, as he's going way wide off in the sand here as we're talking about. So we're going to go take a look and see exactly what went on with that number 18.
The new damage model is in effect on this 18. His left front tire is disconnected from the axle. There's some type of breakage here. So if you actually get a good angle from that left front tire, you're going to see the exact damage. And it looks like tricky turn 5 is going to strike as well. You're going to catch it right here. It's going to come off this curbing, hit this curb. Tire spin right on the jump part where essentially the curb goes downhill onto the racing surface. And it put him in a bad spot there. And you see that tire. It's shaking pretty violently right there.
We're going to see if we can get another angle of that tire there before it's after that contact there. So,
yeah, and he's down pit road, obviously, right now. He's going to get that thing repaired, at least try to. But coming on that left front tire. You see the wall contact hit with the free floating camera, and you see that thing just shake and vibrate, just crazy like. And then it's got sparks coming out, so you know the thing's bottoming out. Obviously, there's no turn because it's disconnected essentially. So heavy damage to that 18 big red Toyota Camry, the only Camry in the field. It looks like it's going to be a potential early exit for him tonight.
Unfortunate turn of events as he was running good again, right inside that top 10, and just coming off. And Jeremy, it looks like turn 5 is that treacherous turn 5 for a lot of drivers. We've seen a lot of things happen there at that turn 5. We just seen Brian Bliss's incident, Tony Solari, which was very reminiscent of that of Nicholas Casey last Wednesday, that ultimately took Nicholas Casey out of race winning contention and out of the race permanently. So it's, again, turn 5 looks like it's still there striking.
Yeah, which to me, I know you use that for a runoff section, and it's a pretty fun corner to watch these guys tackle and try to make some passes happen out of it. But I didn't really, we're going to number 11, just overshoots turn number 11 to try to get around that 19 of Richie Coy. They both overshot the corner. The 11 made it much deeper, able to make it stick because he's now still side by side with his teammate for second place. Going up the hill, you know this is Tony's favorite part of the track, and Richie knows that, gives that spot up. He can't do anything on the outside there. It's going to bring through turn number 2. You're going to find second place now, Tony Solari.
Yeah, Tony Solari moving up and moving up fast. Now, Jeremy, like you said, he's got that open track in front of him. This is where he's going to try to shine, minus the 17 of Steve Loomis, but we know Steve Loomis has been given way just like he does right there. Very sportsman move right there, giving way to the leaders. So right now, we're going to see exactly what times Tony Solari can pull out of this number 11.
Keep in mind, too, this is a 50-lap race. We're on lap number 22. So a lot of the trucks, I think actually all of them, within a few laps after the halfway point. So in this case, it'll be lap 25, 26. We will see these guys take their one and only green flag pit stop, at least under normal circumstances, which is just a few short laps away. So could there be potential position changes there? That last, I think we saw Brody Hanna in the truck. He destroyed his left front by coming through the little wide turn there, the pit entrance, and nailed that wall. So, it's a tricky pit road, Dustin.
It is. He was kind of hoping that we didn't catch that on screen, but ultimately enough, the camera was panning right towards him when that happened last Wednesday. So he was kind of hoping that we didn't catch that, but I don't know. Some producer up in the booth was a jerk and caught it on camera anyway.
It's fine. This is why we're here. This is why they want us to do this for them, is to catch everything on the track, including some guys' faults that may not want to be seen. So, we're doing our jobs. We're keeping all the action for you, no matter what it is.
To include some crazy glitches too, as well. Talking about the Lane Allen.
Yeah. Man, good thing that's a simulated car, because that thing went over the wall, onto the drag strip portion of the track, and was just completely destroyed. If you guys did not catch that broadcast this past Wednesday.
Oh, the 47.
It was early in the race. Oh, yeah, 47. Ryan Hedrick around there. It looks like turn number 2. Not sure exactly what happened there. Actually, going back and looking at it, just got a little curb loose. Looks like this update to these cars do not like the transition from curb to track. Caused him to spin the tires, and only lost about 3 or 4 seconds. That's not terrible there.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. That was good heads-up driving by the 47 of Hedrick to keep it going there. And like you said, it does not seem like these cars are liking that those bump transitions going from curb back to track. But like you said, these drivers state that these cars, they are low to the ground. They grip and hug that ground there. So when you lose that, I mean, if you go back and look at any of the incidents that we've had or cars getting loose, it all revolves around that transition going from the rumble strips back to the track again, starting back on lap 3 with the number 11 of Tony Solari.
Yeah, I think that's the third or fourth driver I've seen that's had some issues just on the curb section there. We've seen pit road a little active. Brody Hanna and Fury Motorsports. We see Chuck Sweeting also on that 75 Gator Racing Chevrolet Camaro. They're making their green flag pit stops on lap 24 of scheduled 50. So we're just before the halfway point. That opens up that pit window for everybody else. So who's going to be the next couple takers? Try to take that slight advantage that you get with these fresh tires. We know it's not the greatest amount of difference, but it is enough.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about this race here is it's a one stop and done. Like we've already mentioned, there are no cautions or anything else, but it's a one stop and done. So this right here is right around the halfway point. That's where we seen the trucks do it. Was about a lap prior to the halfway marker. So it's no surprise that we see the Cup guys doing that as well.
You see right now Brody Hanna tackling the corners here on these 4 fresh Goodyears. What kind of lap times he can produce, and I think someone right behind him got a little loose there coming off of turn number 5. But yeah, we should see more people. And there we go. So I was going to say number 31 this time, Alex Murphy, going to make his stop on a green flag situation, and I don't see anybody else coming down at the moment. But watch out for those leaders. Any moment now, we're expecting them to come down. 15, Nicholas Moreau does not come down this time. Next up is going to be Tony Solari and Richie Coy. Do they try to make that early stop? We've seen him do it plenty of times before. And actually, the 11's going to dip down this time to pit road. His teammate Richie Coy does not. So second place contender and probably one of the fastest cars on the track. That number 11 hitting his marks down pit road.
Yeah, hitting his marks. Got real close to that inside wall. He's going to be followed closely by the 14 of Lane Allen. Lane Allen makes his scheduled green flag pit stop as well with 25 laps to go. So again, these are scheduled pit stops. This will take these drivers to the end of the race. The scheduled distance of 50 laps, 200K is that scheduled race length. So, Jeremy, looking to see what these drivers can do now as, again, Nicholas Moreau is still out there on the track. These drivers are going to get some fresh tires. That means they're going to start trying to put down some fast laps to make up some of that 12.3 seconds, 12.2 second gap that Moreau had on Tony Solari before he came into pit.
I think at this point, if he just puts that number 15, that is of Nicholas Moreau, if he just puts that thing in cruise control, just takes it nice and easy all the way around, which we don't see any dirt or damage to that car. If he just does what he's doing right now, nothing's going to stop him, really. There's no caution, so you just got to keep it clean and learn from Nicholas Casey, I would say, from that 86 on Wednesday, because that was such a heartbreak, and he had that thing locked up and then some, had a quarter of a track lead over everybody else. And it was just eliminated by one simple mistake an hour into the race. So, and once he hits his, or comes down to pit road, you got to keep it clean. You see the 19 as well, Dustin, down pit road.
Yeah, which that's leaving out there Nicholas Moreau. He already started his next lap, did not pit on this lap either. So he's going to stay out a little bit more, and we're going to see exactly how far he's going to stretch it out. I would be led to believe that he's going to want to come in and get some fresh tires, because all these drivers coming in and getting fresh Goodyear rubber on these cars, they're going to be putting down some fast laps, and we already seen Tony Solari put down a 1:15 and some change, and that was well into a run that he did that. Now he's got some fresh tires on it, so I wouldn't want to stay out there too long.
Yeah, this is going to be Tony's first lap here on the fresh set of tires, and let's see what he's got.
Here comes Moreau.
Ford Mustang, and Moreau, there he is, your race leader. Cleanly gets through this corner, it looks like. As long as he's down to speed, that's all that matters at this point. If he misses the stall, well, he's got 12 seconds to fix that part, but at least get the damage off the car, and this should be the end of, or close to the end, rather, of the cycle through green flag stops. I don't think Wallace is maybe pitted, I'm not too sure, but it should be one of the last cars.
Yeah, it should be one of the last cars coming down pit road right now. And yes, Wallace, it does look like Wallace has pitted as well. So everybody should have cycled through at this point in time. So once we see the 15 of Moreau service is done there, we'll see exactly where everybody lays out. As it sits right now, Wallace is shown and credited in your second position. He's now about 4.5 seconds back from your race leader. Richie Coy runs in third, Tony Solari fourth, and Lane Allen rounds out your top 5.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see the stats here. My lap telemetry does not show your telemetry. I did not actually see him on pit road, which would explain why he's so close to the race leader, because he was well within 20 seconds back before the pit stops happened. So I still think he's got a lap or two before he's going to come down. I think that's why he's so close to your leader. I do not see the time where he pitted. So interesting move, Dustin, to stay out here.
Yeah, yep. I mean, you know that they're going to be wanting it. It very well could be that my telemetry on this end is wrong. It's a road course. There's telemetry all over the place. Why? Because there's a whole lot more than just 4 turns on this one. So trying to keep everything in line. But, I mean, it would make sense, especially with where he's at. And it looks like he may be coming down. No, he's not coming down this time either. So 67 to James Walsh, electing to stay out, running in that second position right now. But, I mean, he's got a 13-second lead over third place. Tony Solari right now, as Tony passed Richie Coy, his teammate. And he's got a clean track in front of him right now, Jeremy. So he's looking to put down some blisters.
Definitely looking to do so. And going to kick it back over to Tony Solari, who easily got around that 19. We're going to see what kind of lap times he's producing on those 4 sets of Goodyear tires, and right now he's running .16, mid .16s those first couple laps. So I don't know if that's because of tire pressure or whatnot, but a little slow start here from that number 11. Right now sitting 16 seconds behind Nicholas Moreau, which right before they pitted, he was just around 12 and a half. So 4-second disadvantage between Tony Solari's pit stop and Nicholas. Even further extends that lead and makes this race so much easier for that 15.
Yeah, and like you said, the best thing that Nicholas Moreau could do right now is just put that thing in cruise control. Put it in cruise control, hit your marks, don't overpressure it, don't overdrive it, don't overshoot your corners, don't lock your tires up, just cruise. He's got a nice cushion. I mean, he's got the 67 behind him, but he still has over a 4-second cushion. And at a road course, 4 seconds that's a substantial amount of time. So he just needs to put it in cruise control, try to tick off these last 21 laps.
Speaking of cruise control, since these green flag stops have essentially cycled through, it's going to be our time to take our visual thank you, aka a commercial break, as we're going to go side by side with you guys. We'll be back with you in just a few short moments.
Are you ready to chase the moonlight? Community-based and talent-driven, Moonlight Speed Concepts has what you need to take your iRacing experience to the next level. Founded by passionate owners that care about the community and housing some of the top setup builders and drivers on the platform, Moonlight Speed Concepts offers custom paints, driver coaching, and setups for dirt, asphalt short track racing, and e-NASCAR competition. Partnered with top brands in both real world and simulation. Follow us on Facebook or visit moonlightspeed.com and find out why these businesses chase the moonlight, and why you should too. Moonlight Speed Concept, where all we chase is moonlight.
Welcome back to full screen coverage for the Full Throttle Sim Racing Mach1 Performance Cup Series. We are on lap 33 of scheduled 50, so 17 and a half laps back. And Dustin, we haven't missed much. If you were watching the the side by side, hasn't been too much action on the track. I think Chuck Sweeting passed somebody. Outside of that, we see the 15 clip the cone for the first time. That poor orange cone did nothing to anybody. But Nicholas cleared it off the track. In his lead over Tony Solari by 18.5 seconds, is putting on some blistering lap times with those 4 Goodyears. With his fastest lap coming a lap prior, the first driver and probably the only driver to hit a 14.9 second lap, followed it up with 15.7, which is his 4th fastest lap this evening. So that number 15, even though he's got a huge run, a huge lead, he's not putting the pressure down on himself and continuing to pump out some crazy laps.
So much for cruise control, right? At this point in time. But yeah, Nicholas Moreau for Moreau Motorsports definitely putting down some blistering laps there, doing a fantastic job at it too. 17 laps to go in this race. No more pit stops, no more scheduled pit stops rather, for these drivers. So these drivers, they have what they have right now. But I tell you what all these drivers need at this point in time to try to chase down this 15 and Nicholas Moreau is a little bit of focus, Jeremy. What better way to do that than with Nerd Focus? Got 2 different variants. You got your blue, which is your sugar-free on the left there. Green, your sugar variant on the right. It's excellent energy drink. Known as the Think Drink, created by a college student out of the University of Texas to help him and his classmates with studies. It is geared towards the student, the business worker, the sim racer, the gamer, and the esports fanatic. Does not have the crash of your other competitive energy drinks. It has a good taste too, so check out what they have, nerdfocus.com. Be sure to use promo code SUPERNERD for 10% off your purchase.
Pretty impressive. You'd think a college student would be worried about getting the studies done and then, having some fun and going to bed or whatnot. But no, this kid was like, I want to make an energy drink. Not just drink one, but he wants to make one. And Dustin, do you think he actually looks like the logo with the tall hair and the big round glasses?
I've got in my mind, if he doesn't, in my mind, he looks like that logo. He has to. That's what sells it.
I would imagine so, correct, yeah. Once again, I want to remind that the chats are open. See a little bit of a lull in there. I think that Rumble Racing was Martin Garreau. He went several laps. Actually, he's 24 laps down, excuse me. I think he was one who parked because of that VR headset issue. So that's huge for him. 24 laps down, basically out of this thing. But yeah, chats are open. Please interact with us. That's why we allow it, on multiple platforms. We'd like to hear what you guys have to think. And like Dustin said earlier, your pick's probably good at this point. But with 5 laps to go on Monday, anything's possible. So basically, do you think James Wallace, I think this is going to be the next question for everybody. Let's hear in the chats. Do you think potentially James Wallace can make it? I don't think so, but running 36 laps without pitting right now, that guy is still sitting in second place, 4.5 over Tony Solari. I don't know why he's extending it this far, but do you think he can make it?
I tell you what, if he can, we're going to find out in 15 laps. But that number 11 of Tony Solari is coming fast. He's been tracking it down. He's been putting down some blister lap times as well. So James has just got to hit his marks at this point in time. He's not chasing down Nicholas Moreau, but he can definitely, as he overshoots the S's as we were on board with him. That's not what James Wallace needed at that point in time. He's going to lose a lot of time, and that's going to bring that number 11 of Tony Solari ever closer to him, as now Tony Solari can see him as he's going through the S's and getting ready to hit that hairpin up there.
Let's kick it over to a sim rig. It's the Mach1 Performance in-sim rig camera for this evening. We've already brought him live once. Let's check it out again as he's about to take over second place here in the next lap or so, I'd imagine. See how he's going to get this pass complete. You see him right there, still rocking that VR headset, which I think that's super impressive. Still looks like it's a little iffy there through the uphill, but that's his favorite part of the track, so he knows he's digging deep right there. You see his head on his monitor right there, tilting left and right like he's in the actual car. He's not just staying stationary. He's kind of a really cool shot that we have right now of his VR driving and the actual. You can see how much this head's turning right there.
Yeah, and that's the reason why he set that camera up like that, is he wanted all the fans out there to take a look and see exactly what he sees when he's in that rig with that VR headset. And you mentioned earlier about the Rumble Racing comment about the VR headset going black. Even though these drivers are not in a real race car, they still have mechanical failures. Unfortunately, it's in that case with Martin Garreau, it was the visual mechanical failure that just went completely black, almost like Ricky Bobby with the Fig Newtons. As it looks like the 67, was that the 67 that just went down pit road? It was the 67 of James Wallace, so he's going to cut it down pit road, relinquishing that second position to Tony Solari. So now Tony has a clear track trying to chase down your current race leader, Nicholas Moreau.
Yep, that does relinquish second place to Mr. Tony Solari. 17.5 back of Nicholas there, with 13 laps remaining in the Sonoma Raceway. Virtual Speedway, presented, of course, on iRacing. And Richie Coy, third place, his teammate, 23 back. So these guys are really spacing things out. Really, the only battle on the track is third and fourth. They're a second and a half off each other. It's Richie Coy and Lane Allen. Lane's been putting down some pretty impressive laps, trying to get back to that third place.
He has, and I want to give an update on the 67 of James Wallace. So he came into pits in second and came out of the pits in fifth. So he's still respectably in the top five. So still may not be a bad gamble. And he's got the freshest tires out there with 13 laps to go around this 2-mile track, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's essentially going to lock himself into fifth place, and probably not enough time to get to fourth, but still, nonetheless, staying out there that long and able to do the work that he did, I'm going to keep it within the top five. That's pretty impressive stuff there by that 67, as long as he keeps that car clean. We saw him go dirt tracking one time a few laps ago, so let's not see that once again, to kind of solidify that. But I want to kick it back over to Mr. Lane Allen there, currently tracking down Richie Coy there for podium spot. This is for the podium. This is for the interview. This is for extra points. This is for a lot of things. People want to be in the top three. So right now, Lane Allen, his fastest lap time was only 4 laps ago with a 15.6. Richie Coy ran a 15.8 and 9 the laps after that. But on a consistent note, I think Lane Allen's got the faster car. And we're coming up to close to 10 laps to go, so this could potentially be a good battle here for the end.
Absolutely, and I don't know, do you think that they shoot for the top 3 just because they want to get up and chat with the nerds, Jeremy? You think it's that prestigious?
I mean, not for me to talk to me personally. Maybe you hold more prestige as far as being, the interviewee So, or versus interviewer. So, notch to you on that one, not to me. I cannot take any credit for that. So, but yes, TV time. They got sponsors, so of course they love to give a shout out to their sponsors.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. That's why Full Throttle Sim Racing has the nerds broadcast these races like that, and that's why we do our best to try to give every driver out there some TV time, because they do. It may be virtual racing, but these drivers do have real sponsors at times, and they definitely want to give them a shout out. The 67 of James Wallace just coming back out of pit road. So don't know if there was a miscue on his initial pit stop. I don't know, maybe the tires or fuel wasn't keyed up or what, but definitely had to make another run down pit road, that or unless he was caught speeding and had to do a drive-through, Jeremy.
I can confirm it was speeding. He had a 40-second hold for that number 67 Chevrolet Camaro. So that's why he came back down. No fuel was added, no tires were changed. It was just him having an issue on pit road with his tachometer. We see the 47 of Ryan Hedrick making his pit stop. I think he had pitted once before. I'll have to take a quick look back. And actually, you know what, Dustin? I don't think that man pitted. I think he snuck in on us. That's his scheduled green flag stop on lap 40. To make it that far is even impressive. Fuel
only as well. That car did not go up on the jack stands whatsoever. That was fuel only on that one. So he comes into pits and exits pits, and he is currently sitting in the 7th position right now.
Yeah, 7th position currently on the boards. I think that's where he's going to cycle through. We'll see him when it updates next lap. But yeah, I mean, the tires, we've talked about it several times now, Dustin. They're not wearing like we expected. The guys that ran 116, they're running that same 116 20 laps into a run. So not much tire wear out there, surprisingly. And so he's able to get away with those the gas-only situation. It's going to help him move up a spot or two. He's got 4 people on his current lap, only being 1 lap down. That being Brody Hanna, Ryan Hedrick, James Wallace, and Matthew Vachon, which I think James Wallace, yeah, he did fall down to 1 lap down after that second pit stop. So 4 guys currently running 1 lap down.
Yeah, those 4 guys are the 4 drivers that are going to be battling for that 6th position, which is currently held by the gentleman that's on your screen right now in that number 23 Ford Mustang. That's Brody Hanna. So it looks like the 57 of Josh Johnson sideways out of the corner there, and he does back it up off the track and clear the track there. That was Tony Solari that he let go by before he tried to merge back on again.
No.
So tough break for the 57 as he's staying way out of the way. Let these drivers try to get around as he cuts across here.
He's got that tire that damage, the same tire damage that
no.
Ryan Bliss had. His left front tire is disconnected from the axle. I apologize on that word. I don't know where the impact came from, but I saw him take off, and his tire was not doing well. It was bouncing up and down, just like the 18s did about 15 laps prior. So that's going to probably take him out of tonight's event.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate turn of events. Oh, I think it was right there, Jeremy. It was that same wall that got Lane Allen that sent him flying. It just the ever so slight contact. I seen the sparks fly off of it.
Actually, I'm gonna take you back one step further. Head back to turn number 11. The turn prior overshot the corner and hit the tire barrier. So it looked like it was that kink, which he did get super close to it. But I think it was actually that contact on turn number 11 that really just sent that left front tire.
I think you're right on that one there. Absolutely. We're gonna watch it right now as he's going in. You know, see him, he locks him up, just ever so slight contact, and yep, that's exactly what happened right there. It's like that tire there, yep, you can see it kind of bouncing around right now. It's disconnected.
So, shout out to iRacing on that notion, because the next-gen cars in real life have been super sensitive, and I've noticed it quite a bit, and now iRacing's brought that super sensitivity to these sim cars. He barely made contact with that wall. If it was any other car, he would have been able to drive off, no problem. But the next gen is very delicate in that field around the axle area. So 57 is going to be out of tonight's event with that tire damage. Unfortunate, because that was a really light contact to that wall. So kind of surprising he's done there because of it. But, you know, you got to take care of your equipment, right?
Absolutely, and I am too, because like I said, I mean, he had him locked up coming into that hairpin there, and it was a very light contact. But with this new damage model, and that's what a lot of the drivers in their group chats they were talking about leading up to tonight's event, was how that damage model was going to play a factor, especially being rolled out right before this league's in this series only road course that they have for this season. They were going to kind of wonder how that was going to play a factor, and we've seen it come up and bite a couple people already. That is driver number 2 with that, the first one being Brian Bliss after that contact coming out of turn 5.
Yeah, unfortunate for sure. But now these guys know how sensitive these cars are. They have to learn the hard way. Someone's got to show that path, and the 18 and 57 so far have shown how sensitive that left front tire is to any damage done to it. So moving on forward, you just got to take care of your equipment just a little bit more, it seems like. But Nicholas Moreau, you had him on screen right now, Tony Solari. These guys have gapped out even further from each other. Nicholas with a 17.3 second lead over Mr. Tony Solari that time by. So it's all but wrapped up. You know, you got, 6 laps to go at Sonoma. So, speaking of taking care of your equipment, that 15 needs to do so, because this is the time where Nicholas Casey made a mistake.
Yep, it was right around that lap 5. So, again, we had talked about, we stated it earlier after that pit stop that Nicholas Moreau just needs to put it in cruise control. I mean, he's got a good amount of distance. And, he just needs to put it in cruise control at this point in time.
Which I was watching his lap times, and I think like 5 laps ago he was doing so. I saw Tony catch him, I think like almost a second a lap for a couple laps. But then he since then picked up his pace quite a bit, back to where it was before. So kind of keeping that gap out at the moment. There's only 5 guys now on the lead lap after everything cycled through. Chuck Sweeting leading the way. Your last guy on the lead lap, 1 second behind, or sorry, not 1 second, 1 minute behind Moreau. So here in probably the next, if they do get to him, he's like 5 to 10 seconds ahead. So we'll see here but actually the 75, never mind, I thought he had an issue. He went in super slow in the turn number 6 or 7 rather, but he's good to go. But yeah, guys are pretty spaced out. There's really no action on the racetrack, Dustin. 3rd and 4th place still, kind of like the battle here, but Richie Coy's found some speed, 2.5 seconds over Lane Allen. That's 3rd and 4th place. So let's see if Lane can maybe make that last second push to get to that podium spot.
Yeah, and he was trying too. I mean, Lane was putting down some comparable lap times to that of Richie Coy. And, they've stayed roughly about the same distance apart. It's just time's running out right now for that 14 to try to move himself up into that podium position. I mean, he's been up there before. He's been as high as 2nd in this race and has only dropped back to the 4th position right now, which is right where he started this race, was 4th. So he's just got to try to hit his marks to see if he can't get up there and challenge the 19 for that 3rd and final podium position.
Well, we got it still on the screen here. Reminder, that QR code, that's for that logo right above it, the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So just a quick reminder to, if you have a few bucks to give out, there's not much better place to send it other than to them to help out all the kids in need. So you just got to scan that code, send the amount, and boom, it's done. Nice and easy. All the donations go to them or at the St. Jude's Research Hospital. Yeah,
and like you said, Nerditudes in no way, shape, or form sees any of that money. That QR code goes straight to St. Jude's. They get 100% of the proceeds of any money that is donated, which is the way the charity should be. So again, feel free to send anything that you can. Again, even pocket change helps out for research and treatment of these children. Again, St. Jude's is a wonderful thing. A little bit more information for those of you that don't know. Any family who has a child treated at St. Jude's, it's like Jeremy said, it's all donation driven. those families do not get a bill for treatment. They do not get a bill for housing. They do not get a bill for anything from St. Jude's. That is all covered through donations, keeping the kids as the primary focus and keeping their treatment and their health as a primary focus.
And not many people can claim that on a large scale like they have, so they got to keep their funding. So that's why it takes us and you guys out there to make that happen. Going back to the race, we're down to just 3 laps to go. You see, we're on board right now with that 15 who's just putting on a clinic. And ever since we talked about him last a few laps ago, he's actually pulled another 1.5 to 2 seconds over Tony in second place. So the longer the run goes, this is a common theme now that we're seeing with that 15. The longer the run, the faster this car is compared to everybody else.
Yeah, and like you said, this is the first road course we've seen these Cup drivers come to. We know on the oval side that Mach1 Motorsports, their long run setups are very stout. Just like Fury Motorsports long run setups, a lot of the other teams as well. I mean, Rumble Racing, Gladiators are racing. I mean, there's a lot of them that they do have some very stout long run setups. But Mach1 Motorsports from last season to this season, that's where they have made a lot of ground, is their long run setups. And it looks like it's transferring over right from the oval side straight to the road side as well, because long run, like you said, as the race goes on, Nicholas is still ticking off and still gapping second place at Tony Solari.
Let's showcase just how far 19 seconds is. Right now we see Nicholas Murrow go through turn 3A, going through 3B right there. Let's kick it over to second place Solari. Entering turn number 1, just crossed the finish line. Heading through turn number 2 right now, is now finally starting to approach turn 3A and 3B. Right now he's entering it. So if you kick it back to Moreau, we'll see that difference there. On the backstretch, going through the S's, that's a bunch of turn number 8, heading to turn number 9 here in the next part of that corner. So that's a huge gap in the track to he did that in a short period of time, roughly, Dustin. And I know it's 50 laps here, but that's 20 plus seconds now over the 11 car and not even 50 laps. So that car is just on a rail.
Yeah, and we know that Tony Solari is no slouch when it comes to the road courses either. So, I mean, that's a testament to Mach1 Motorsports and the driver of that number 15, Nicholas Moreau. Is again, I mean, we're on that final lap right now. Is the 15 just took that white flag lap. We're on the final lap. One more route around this 2-mile track. Nicholas Moreau has it all but locked up at this point in time. 21-second gap. Jeremy, he could put this thing in cruise control and probably just slightly coast and half throttle it and probably still make it to the finish line in time.
Oh, 100%. He doesn't need to press the issue at all, but you know that driver sitting in that seat's like, I gotta get my fastest lap time. I gotta beat my best time. And so sometimes we get in our heads a little too much and try to be competitive, even though we don't have to be. So, but he's got just a couple corners left in that 15 Mach1 Motorsports Chevrolet. Coming through turn number 10 right now. Headed toward the last hairpin of this evening, turn number 11. I was calling it turn number 12 earlier. I had to correct myself on that. It is 11. And now coming through the final corner here, turn number 12. This is going to end the race. Number 15, Nicholas Moreau, winner of the Sonoma 200K for the Mach1 Performance Cup Series.
Yeah, back in victory lane again, first time back in victory lane since the season opener at Charlotte. So mark him down as the first repeat winner of the 2022B Cup Series with a win at Charlotte and a win here tonight at Sonoma.
Yeah, just an absolute clinic he put on these guys. And these guys are still racing. You kick it over to, third and fourth place. They're just now crossing the line. See the 19 Richie Coy just taking the finish line. Lane Allen, that 14, just now hitting it as well. And then your last person on the lead lap, Chuck Sweeting, still going through the turn 8 S's. He's looking to finish his race this time by. Got the O2 in front of him. He's several laps down. That's Josh Mayu. They're both going to be hitting the hairpin for the final time this evening, turn number 11. Shows you the dominant performance that Moreau put on You know, he's already won the race a long time ago, it seems like, and now the 75 is just crossing that line. Going to take home 5th place for that Gator Racing Chevrolet.
Yeah, it was definitely a clinic there, but it makes you go back and wonder exactly, you know, it's if that situation on lap 3 that plagued Tony Solari, what kind of race it would have been. Would the race would have been closer between the 15 and the 11? But again, that's just what happens when we come to racing like this here. One thing to take away from this, Jeremy, is that damage model. It did seem like that damage model did bite a couple people. They were, again, accustomed to the damage model that could take a little bit more, that didn't damage as easy, and we've seen a couple wall hits. Brian Bliss's was a pretty hard one, but Josh Johnson's hit was, that was a light tap. In comparison, and it still caused the same damage.
Yeah, I think that's a big story. Of course, Moreau extended his points lead. That's a story, going to be extending or close to it. Going to be a story there because Richie Coy and him are seems to be going to be duking out for a championship this year after 3 races in. But yeah, the new damage model. This is gonna change some things up. You can't beat and bang as you're used to with the old stuff, where your car is virtually indestructible, except for tire or engine damage. Rather, now you have to worry about tire failures and whatnot. So that's gonna play a part of this season's championship run for sure. Let's go over the final results for tonight's Sonoma 200K, presented by Mach1 Performance. Nicholas Moreau takes home the gold tonight. Tony Solari 2nd place. Richie Coy follows up in 3rd. Lane Allen 4th. Chuck Sweeting, the last car, on lead lap in 5th. Everybody else behind 1 lap down or more. Brody Hanna finishes in 6th. James Wallace 7th. Ryan Hedrick comes home in 8th. Matthew Vachon in 9th, and around out the top 10, Josh Mayu.
Yeah, Steve Loomis will bring that number 17 home in 11th. Gil Gawk finishes 12th. Alex Murphy in that 31 finishes 13th. Josh Johnson, after that slight contact and that new damage model got him, it finishes 14th. Brian Bliss, same boat in situations, Josh Johnson, finishes 15th. Martin Garreau finishes 16th after that VR hiccup. Again, equipment failure, just more sim racing equipment failure. But again, these sim drivers still have equipment failure, and you've seen that tonight. And Chris Beck rounds out your field in 17th.
This is going to kick it over to the Martin Sports post-race show presented by Nerd TV and, of course, Martin Sports. Best company to buy any type of apparel on the sim world. We're going to see if we can get a hold of Richie Coy, your 3rd place runner this evening. They're in that Gear Wrench Ford Mustang. Richie Coy, you got a copy?
What's up, nerds?
Hey, man, cool to be talking to you again here. What a fine Monday night you had there. Nice drive there. You and Tony put on a show, decent part of that race with Lane Allen as well, and the car seemed pretty good out there. We watched you on the Mosaic camera. Appreciate your camera shots, and just how were you able to bring home 3rd place tonight?
Tony's setup, honestly. I was about halfway, about 20 laps to go. I was just like, can we end this race? This race is just taking forever. But Tony put a great setup under us. And, outside of that one spin coming out of 3, just able to keep it on the track for the rest of the race. And that was really the key.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's I know there was a lot of talk tonight, and this is the best way to try to get feedback is from you guys, is iRacing just put out that new update, damage model, physics update, and everything else to this next gen. How did that play a factor, being the first race that you guys come to in the Mach1 Performance Cup Series, being a road race after that update?
Well, fortunately for me, I didn't try it before the update, so I don't know what the difference is between before and after. But I can only imagine that we had a lot more grip tonight than we would have if before the update. So thank God for that, because it was still like driving on ice. Even though Tony's setup gave us some good forward bite, and as long as we slowed down enough, we had some good front grip. But it seems like the update made everything more stable. So that was probably actually a help for the road course more than a hindrance.
Now, do you think if Mr. Solari had more time between the updates, do you think he would have shot at that 15?
I think if both of us didn't spin off the racetrack, we might have had a shot for him, because Honestly, I was watching the times, and he was probably a little bit faster than because I was over driving it. But him and Tony were running about the same lap times, and I think that both Tony and I spinning and giving him that big gap just played in his favor. But congrats to him; he had a stellar race.
Yeah, I'm going to say that your comment's probably 100% accurate. Keep it on the track and you give yourself a chance. And when second, third place loop it, that gives that one guy who hasn't that perfect time to shine. And but yeah, congratulations again, man. I know we like to ask you your sponsors and thank you and everything. It's quite a common occurrence that we talk to you up here in this booth, but it always gives you a time to put you in the spotlight. So anyone out there tonight in particular watching?
Well, it's hard every week to get to the booth to the broadcast. So I appreciate each and every time I get to talk to you guys, and being an honorary nerd is also an honor for me as well. So shout out to you guys for that. Shout out to Tony's family. I already got messaged by his mom. Thank you, Mom. For Tony had a great race too. Shout out to my teammates, Tony again for putting another great road race setup under us, and shout out to the league, and again shout out to you guys, man.
Yeah, appreciate those kind words across the board, and yeah, glad we were able to talk to you. It is a good amount of work to get up here, especially if the guys at FTSR put on a hell of a race every single week. And so, congratulations once again, man. Go ahead and celebrate with that team.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Yes, sir. That was third place finisher, Mr. Richie Coy, part of Fury Motorsports, and we have one more member to talk to in that team, being the setup maker for this week, and Fury Motorsports driver Tony Solari in that number 11 Menards Ford Mustang. You got a copy, Tony?
I do. What's up, guys?
Hey, man, it was a pretty good race overall. I know you had some issues early on, which took you out of contention, which I felt like you had the car to beat personally. You had a great start there, able to pass the 15, entering turn number 1 and 2, and it looked like you were going to be setting sail for the most part. And then I was kind of watching you, and a few others actually had some issues on that curb, especially in turn 5 or 4 rather. Do you feel like the car is more sensitive coming off the curbs?
Well, that's one of those corners where I try to, you hit the one curb to try to miss the other curb, or at least to hit the other curb properly. And it's a little rough on acceleration through there, just because the car's hopping around. These cars are so stiff, and it's a lot different than the trucks. Even though the trucks, obviously, you can get loose there. But it's twitchy. You almost kind of got to stomp the gas a couple times just to kind of get it to hook up. And once you have that feeling, then you could go. But that one just got away from me, slipped up a little bit. And yeah, fortunately, I was able to kind of work it back out. And I didn't have anything for Nicholas towards the end. With 10 to go, I said, no way. And you can see I've got some nose damage, and I was having water issues. And so I was laying back here and there when it needed to be.
Yeah, and that's what I was actually gonna follow up and ask you about that too, with this new damage model. I mean, we seen Nicholas Casey last Wednesday. His hit didn't look near as bad as what yours did, and it grenaded his engine. And yours was almost a square hit, as you can see. The center of that whole front clip is bent in right at the Ford logo. That was going to be my question: is if you were having any overheating issues with that throughout the race.
Yeah, a little bit. Brody and Richie again used my setup, and yeah, they weren't complaining about any heat issues. And in my practicing, I wasn't having them, so I knew it was directly a result of the of the hit. And I didn't know how bad it was, and it just was one of those things. I figured, well, it's either going to blow up, or I'm just going to have to baby it here and there, and take what I can get out of it. But yeah, I had about a minute or so in damage that needed to be repaired, and obviously I opted not to do it, and I figured I'll just keep running at it, see what I can get out of it.
Yeah, I'm glad that the engine actually didn't expire or overheat there, because that's a long race, being lap 3 or 4 out of 50 when you made that contact. Just a quick follow-up question: if that damage was not there and that never happened, compared to practice times and how the car was feeling after the wreck, do you think you might have had a chance to take home the checker flag this evening?
If I didn't slip up, meaning if I stayed in front of them, or if I still hit and didn't have some damage. If I stayed in front of them, I think we would have probably, had a pretty good tight finish. If I didn't have damage, I don't know. It's tough to say. It did put me back a little bit. It took me a while just to get back to second place at that point. I don't know if there was going to be enough laps, to be honest.
Yeah, you just needed that one caution, and things would have reset, and it might have been a different story. But nonetheless, coming back from that wreck to back to second place and finishing strong, awesome performance nonetheless. Nothing to discredit from that. Coming back second place from that. So, congratulations on finishing second. Anyone out there watching their TV, love to give a shout out to this evening.
Well, mom and dad, if you're out there, hey, what's up? Not the night we wanted, but it's all right. Richie got a third out of it, and I got to thank the team, Brody, Richie, and the league, Brody again, and everybody here that participates in these races. We usually get a little lower number, and we had a decent field tonight. It's good people, aren't too scared to come out here and run some roadies. That's about it. Thanks to you guys again for what you guys do, and these are a lot of fun to watch. And yeah, if you want to join a league, it's a great league to join. FTSR, look us up.
Yep, FTSR.net for sure. Like to promote you guys because, yeah, they do put on some awesome racing, and thank you for those kind words. But that's it, man. Go ahead and celebrate the team. Congratulations once again on bringing home second place.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good night, and hopefully you see me waving on screen and thumbs up and all that good stuff. And,
Yes, sir.
We
hopefully
see
that worked
you.
out pretty good for you.
Oh, it did. That was one thing I will have to say is it was a nice view watching you actually lean into those corners and actually seeing the screen lean from your point of view. It definitely puts a whole new perspective on sim racers at that point in time. So I want to thank you and show appreciation for you being the in-rig primary driver for tonight's race. Put on a hell of a show along with your Fury Motorsports teammates.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, my gauges and shit. I don't actually even see my wheel because I'm in the VR. But I'll tell you, the VR, the most significant upgrade you could ever do. If you're looking to do it, I recommend it. But have a good one, guys.
Yeah, you too, man. Appreciate that. That was your second place finisher, Mr. Tony Solari, and that Menards Ford Mustang. And that leaves one person, Dustin, the guy who led most of the race. A strong performance at number 15, Mr. Nicholas Moreau. Do you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, congratulations. The first repeat winner through 3 races. You claimed victory to 2 of them. And Gateway gave you a little bit of bad luck. Ended your night a little early. If it wasn't for that, I think you might have made at least podium with that strong car you had. But you made it back. You recovered nicely. It's going to put you back close to first place or, at least top 3 in the point standings. Congratulations on taking home the checker flag for the Sonoma 200K for the Mach1 Performance Cup Series. Hell of a race. The car was on a whole nother level. You just outdrove everyone after the 11 had made that incident early on. I think lap 3 or 4 it was. And you just set sail, man. So just kind of question around the start of the race. Do you think if the 11 had kept it clean and not spun it out, do you think it would have been a close battle between you two, or do you think your car had that long run prevalence that we've seen so far this season?
Well, I was pretty confident about my car, but yeah, as when I saw him spun out, it was like, okay, now I just have to focus on myself and keep the lead and managing the car and stuff. And but yeah, it was. I've been you know, I don't know him on the road course, but on the lap time it was very fast. So I was pretty confident about my lap times. And we just lost a hard battle for sure.
Yeah, hard battle indeed. And like I said, you did exactly what you needed to do. I mean, you hit your marks and you focused on hitting what you needed to. Now with this here, I don't know how much practice you've had prior to that last update, but did you see a significant difference in the tire wear? We've had a lot of reports that the tires just weren't wearing as much as what they were, which I mean would show true because you guys were pulling some of your fastest laps. Mid run through. I mean, did you notice a significant difference?
Not really, because honestly, I did not run some many laps. So before the updates, I just noticed that we've got more grip. So it was good, just good for me actually. But no, naturally, I cannot say too much about the just before the patch because I didn't run a lot of laps.
Well, for being on a new build, new car, basically, and you're able to dominate like that, that just shows your talents that you have behind the wheel in that 15 Chevrolet Camaro. But congratulations on taking home the checker flag this evening. While we got you in the booth, we always like to ask if you have any sponsors or just people out there watching in the nerd TV world. So who out there you love to give a shout out to?
Yes, of course. I would say hello to Mathieu Tremblay, which is watching the broadcast because he missed the race because he is at work. And my sponsor for sure, Transit, is WebPro, La Wec Agricole, and Lassie Sports supporting us in real life and also on the sim. So thanks for them, and thanks for you guys for a great job. I'm watching you later on the tomorrow, and thanks for the league for accepting us.
Absolutely. So my question is if Mathieu Tremblay was working, exactly how much work is he getting done if he's watching the broadcast and watching you take home the victory?
He he's firefighter, so he's at the casern to watching on the cell, I guess.
That would make sense, yeah. But I wonder how much work he actually got done watching it. But that's cool though. He's able to tune in while working. It just shows the team support for sure. So um, you like to see it from your teammates when they kind of support you wherever they can, even if it's in the chat system. But congratulations once again, Mr. Nick. Go ahead and celebrate with the team, and we will catch you next Monday.
Yeah, hopefully I get. I'm not sure about the next track. I think it's a short one, but yeah, we'll be ready for sure.
Awesome, man. Can't wait to see it.
See ya, boys.
And that was the winner of tonight's race in that Transit Chevrolet Camaro. Number 15, Nicholas Moreau, just putting on a hell of a race compared to everybody else. 21 and a half second lead to finish off the race this evening. And Dustin, schedule for the next few races looking pretty good as well for this Mach1 Performance Cup Series. We head over to Iowa next week. And these cars
home track.
Home track for you, and how racy these cars seem to be now. We might be in for a really nice surprise here. And then Nashville Super Speedway. The tracks, that's hit or miss depending on who likes that kind of track. It's a really tight version of a 1.5 mile track. And then off week, we go to July 4th. That's Independence Day. We will not see coverage after that. And then I'm always hoping that Atlanta gets that update for the Super Speedway model, but in 4 weeks or 3 weeks, I don't know if that's going to happen. But we got Atlanta coming up, New Hampshire, Pocono, Indianapolis. So Daytona ends it off, as we've notated since the beginning of the season. That's one crazy racetrack to finish off any type of series finale. So schedule's looking cool. And
yeah,
same schedule basically on. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, it's a good schedule, and like I said, I mean the next two tracks before that off week, I mean, Nashville kind of reminds me of a gateway. It's at 1.5 mile, but you race it like a short track. It's got that short track feel. And then coming from, being the race right after Iowa, I can see two really good races going up into the 4th of July weekend right there, Jeremy.
Oh, for sure, right? And speaking of good races too, that truck series, guess where we're at Wednesday? We're on dirt, Knoxville.
Another home track. So you're just getting spoiled with this week on the FTSR. Getting a lot of Midwest or northern section of the country, some racing, especially on dirt. Knoxville, staple on all dirt series. So tune in this Wednesday. That's going to be a crazy one to watch for sure. Oh, it's going to be a good one. Going to be a good one. There's nothing better than dirt.
Yeah, hopefully these trucks do perform well, which from time to time, these things do much better than even I expect. So it's going to be a fun one for sure. Love to give a quick shout out to those who help allow us to do this every Monday and Wednesday night for you guys. Starting with the league themselves, you hear Nicholas even promote them during his interview. FTSR.net, great place to race. Get registered. We're only on week 3 of scheduled 14, so still plenty of time to join in and showcase your talents. Mach1 Performance, the series sponsor for every Monday night's Cup Series races. Fabrication shop out there that produces much needed performance upgrades for your race car on the fabrication end of things, and then produce championship winners from the SCCA and NASA and from racing abroad. So check out Mach1 Performance. Sim Racing Points keeps you updated with all the points needs that you have, whether it be full page layout or just a little widget on the side of your page. Any way you need to kind of showcase any type of results or stats, Sim Racing Points has you taken care of. Go to simracingpoints.com and check out the pricing plans. And then also quick shout out to Martin Sports. They make shirts, hoodies, hats, gloves, and they have the fastest turnaround in the business for any order that you have. So martinsports906.com is your home site to go to. Use that code. And you see right there, Dustin on his pair up. So, if he's going to, I'm going to hold mine up.
Yay, there it is.
And you know what? In a few weeks, Dustin, we got those nerd ones coming in. Those are going to be awesome to show you guys on the screen with a digital little throwback watch on a little pixelated customized glove. It's pretty cool. And you're going to find all that at martinsports906.com. Super Nerd at checkout, 25% off. And lastly, thank you to iRacing iFlag as well. It's that system that sits on your desk. It's 3D printed, 64 LEDs that's going to display all types of iRacing notifications across the board. It comes at a pretty good price point, especially when you use Super Nerd at checkout. 15% off at iRacingIFlag.com. Also,
and you know what, Jeremy? I'm going to sit here and take the rest. You know what? We're going to give you a little bit of a break.
Change it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So also want to thank Butt Kicker. So you heard Tony Solari talk about that VR. It's an excellent addition to the sim rig. This is the other final addition besides the iRacing iFlag. If you don't have a VR system, this gives you that rumble in your seat. It's that haptic transducer that really keys into the low rumbles. So going over those rumble strips, that tire slip, the rev of the engine, you're going to feel it all right in your sim seat, right in your chair, right in your gaming chair, whatever. It connects to anything. It's a fantastic product. Gamer 2 is the premier device that a lot of the sim racers use. And yes, if you really want to feel a rumble, you can hook up multiple ones to a single system. So just throwing that out there as well. But check out the buttkicker.com. Be sure you use promo code NERDTV to save you a little bit of cash on that order. Also want to thank Moonlight Speed Concepts. That is our official paved partner of Nerditudes. You want some professional grade setups at a very reasonable price. These guys put a lot of work and time into the setups on anything paved, both oval and road. This is the place to go. It has gotten a lot of the nerds number of wins, good finishes. I know it's helped out my iRating a lot as well. I know it's got Mr. J Stan right over to my left there, a couple wins as well. So fantastic setups, excellent community. They do have social media as far as Facebook, Twitter, and their Discord is always hopping. So again, be sure you check them out at moonlightspeed.com. On the flip side of that, as I just hit my mic, on the flip side of that is houseofspeed.us. That is the official dirt setup provider of Nerditudes. They work hand in hand with Moonlight Speed as well, and they're going to give you all of your race-winning dirt setups. We're talking your late models. We're talking your big block modifieds, your UMP modifieds, your 360 sprints, your 410 sprints. We're talking your dirt cars, street stocks, anything that's on dirt, they're going to sit here and help you out. And they have some fast setups, guys. I'm telling you, these guys have a number of drivers in the pro late model series of iRacing, and these guys are lightning fast, and these are the setups that they work on. So again, check them out, see what they have to offer. That is houseofspeed.us. Last but not least, Nerd Focus, the official energy partner of Nerditudes. You want that little bit of focus to help you out. That's what the nerds do. Some of the drivers, you want that little bit of focus to give you that edge on that track, to really try to focus on those lines. This is the product for you right here. Doesn't give you the crash of the competing energy drinks. Has a great flavor. Comes in two variants. Sugar, which is the green one on your screen, and sugar-free, which is the one that the nerds, having some diabetics on staff there, choose to go with. Both have amazing flavors, but that blue being that sugar-free variant. So check out what they have to offer. Super Nerd at checkout to save you 10%. So check that out at nerdfocus.com.
And that's to wrap up that, and that's going to be it, Dustin. It's going to be it tonight for us here at the Nerd TV booth. You're going to catch us on Wednesday night as those trucks take over Knoxville Raceway, the first and only time you'll see them on dirt this season in this league. So make sure to tune in and watch that fun action there. And outside of that, you guys have a good night out there, and make sure to stay safe and always get your nerd on.
It's not till goodbye, or it's not till, man, see, I can't even get this right, Jeremy.
Man,
I failed. And it's not goodbye, it's till next time. How many times have I said that? And I already jacked it up.
Not
See?
enough.
You know what? That just means I got to come back next Monday and get it right. There you go. So again, it's not goodbye, it's till next time. Stay safe out there. Game on.